Hey, this is Charlie from 4BZ Truth. Um, I wanted to expand on the video that I had just yesterday about people's bias or their perspectives on how they interpret information. Because I got to thinking about this today because I started talking to some guys at work, and their initial response is that I'm an idiot for even thinking about questioning certain things like the globe. Now, I would never want to question anything just for no reason. But now I have gotten to the point where I feel like I question everything. And I'm starting to question if my perspective of questioning everything is even healthy. But again, it's kind of a hypothetical outlook on everything. I just want to know that if what I'm believing is based on something that is solid, and there's a good reason for why I should believe in it. So, anyways, so as far as the flat Earth, it's taken me 6 months up to this point to even get to where I am with feeling confident enough to even talk about it in this forum. Because I guess what it comes down to is like listening to Rob Skiba when he was talking about his stuff. He would always say like how he was getting irritated with the people that have their knee-jerk reactions, and they're becoming like the devil comes out of them as soon as you bring up the flat Earth. And it's like, why are people so defensive toward this? It's like, I think it started as kind of the mainstream media. It goes as far as as low as the school level of us, being indoctrinated by our teachers. And if we question the mainstream, it's going to affect our grades. We're not going to pass our class or even get an A for that matter if we start questioning the powers or the establishment. I oftentimes look back at when I was younger. I was a C student, and I kind of lost interest in school, and I think that my natural understanding of things didn't understand why things needed to be the way they were, so I never really bought into them. So in some ways, I think that maybe genetically I was programmed, or maybe something natural inside me had an instinct to allow this information to even influence my thinking. And once I've actually, going back and looking at the shift that took place in my life, I was 27. Now I'm 34. So when I was 27, I started looking into politics, and I was watching a lot of Glenn Beck stuff, and how he was talking about how there's a lot of conspiratorial type of things, like the crash of the dollar is coming, and it started getting concerning to me about if I'm safe, if my wife is safe. And then I started doing more research, and there's a lot of stuff out there that is just so out there. It's more of an entertainment type of thing. But like it went from that to, cause I was raised in the church and stuff, but I didn't really have a very strong foundation, because I started questioning a lot of things. But in a lot of ways, I was raised to not look at things that were controversial, because it might shake my faith. But then I was like thinking, well, maybe I should shake my faith, because it's probably not worth even having a faith if it can't be shaken? Like, what kind of foundation is my faith on? The Bible even talks about that. Is your foundation built on sand, or is it built on a rock? And, a rock foundation is not going to shake as easily. And it's interesting, the context of when Jesus is talking about that, because I guess, I think it was talking about the law, like not one jot or one tittle will be removed before all is fulfilled. But this is a deep issue of Christianity. But gosh, just looking at the world that we live in, I mean, I don't think Christians are even willing to look at a lot of stuff that I've found to validate Christianity, like such as the findings of Ron Wyatt. I'm guessing probably a bunch of people listening to this have no idea who Ron Wyatt is. And he made some wild claims, like he found Noah's Ark. He found Sodom and Gomorrah, or the ruins of Sodom and Gomorrah, the Red Sea crossing. I think he even found some Canaanite pots and just some really out there stuff. Like, he made some wild claims, and he wasn't even one of those mainstream guys. He was just an amateur archaeologist, and a lot of his stuff is suppressed. And it's kind of interesting to me why the Christian church is even willing. I mean, they're not even willing to look at the stuff that he has, because the likelihood of him finding all these things is slim if you're, a very renowned archaeologist, let alone an amateur. So I started looking into Ron Wyatt stuff, and man, that shook the core of my understanding, because I couldn't believe that the church wasn't promoting this everywhere that they went. Because so if anybody's listening to this, I say go look at some of the Ron Wyatt stuff. Just say Ron Wyatt, Noah's Ark. There's a lot of documentaries that were done on it. I personally think the best one is Ron Wyatt's version of it, where his wife is narrating. But then that actually got me going in the direction of like what my brother's book was saying about evolution and creation argument. So I started looking into like Kent Hovind, and Kent Hovind got me thinking about a lot of different stuff about how everything could be validated in light of a young Earth creation. So I was thinking, gosh, that's like there's so much evidence there. It just depends on your bias. If your bias says that it needs to fit the mold of evolution, it's like, man, you'll never be able to see the right information if you're only viewing it from one perspective. So, it was a long journey to get to the place where I'm at now, to even start looking into the flat Earth. The flat Earth thing, I believe, is more complex than people might give at face value. Everywhere I turn, I feel like there's new evidence to support the flat Earth. And people say, well, why is it really even important? Who cares? Why does it really affect me if the world is flat or round? And it's like, are you freaking kidding me? I think if in light of a Christian worldview, you would think that you would want any evidence to validate your perspective. For me, I think, well, if we're a special creation with everything revolving around us, well, yeah, that makes sense to me that that sounds like validation to me right there is a flat earth, because God created us special, and there's nothing out there that, now granted, you could say that there's other races that are interdimensional. That's speculation. I have no idea. But anyways, but the flat earth is complex, and it's I think it requires more investigation than just like 1 or 2 videos. It's taken me 6 months to get to where I'm at now. And I was on the fence for a long time. And I still, in some ways, am on the fence because I don't know all the answers to all the questions. But the more I'm actually researching and investigating, I'm finding that people are stepping out of their comfort zones to explain the things that do make sense in the flat earth. And the funny thing is, we're just like common, peasants that are freaking coming out with these little freaking videos that come from our cell phone. And we're not NASA. We don't have like a freaking $1 billion budget to find these little tidbits of information. I'm seeing these people that I've been seeing, like this one guy in England. He's done a curvature test, and he was able to point his camera off into the distance, and based on it was like 8 miles away, and he didn't see any curvature. Even if he was standing upright, there's still laws of just convergence. That's the word I'm looking for. The horizon will meet your line of sight because it converges just like a train track would, or if you're looking down some hallway or corridor where you can see the walls converging or in the floor converging with the ceiling. Or there's only so much. And I've seen a video where this woman was filming out off the beach in Florida, and she was filming a ship that was going out away from her location, and you could see the bottom of the ship disappearing, but the water level was actually not moving. I mean, you could see that it looked like some sort of like mirage or something that was covering up the ship. And they say, the ship disappears the hull first, but it's not really the ship disappearing. It's the mirage is covering up anything that you can actually see, and it's causing a glare or reflection of the sky and the ocean. So it seems pretty clear to me that there is no curvature. And if there was any kind of curvature that appears to go around the horizon, really that's just a mirage or some sort of I mean, I just thought about, that my neighbor that says that he thinks that maybe it's light that bends around the curvature. So you're able to see these locations because the light is bending. It comes down to how good is your imagination to try to justify your view. I don't know. I mean, it's pretty straightforward if you ask me. So anyways, I'm going to just keep bringing these videos out in the open, and hopefully I don't cause problems for me and my wife, because I don't want to, draw negative attention to myself or my family. But anyways, well, I really appreciate you guys listening to me, and I look forward to connecting with anybody that's willing to raise anything that is contradictory to what I'm saying, challenging. I love being challenged. So please bring it on, and I'm going to be as interactive as I possibly can in order to, keep this ball rolling. I think the discussion needs to be had. So, all right. Thanks again, and have a good one. All right. Bye.